youngest of 8 children born in 1685 in Eisenach, Germany. I came from a large extended family, most of whom were musicians. My father was a widely known musician and taught me basic music theory to play the violin and introduced me to other musical instruments. Sadly, when I was just 9 years old, my mother passed away, and just 8 short months later, my father died too. At that time, I moved in with my older brother, Christoph, who was a skilled church organist. He taught me to play and how to repair organs. I stayed with him until I was 15 years old when I decided to look for a job. My first job as a musician was in a city called Weimar. There I was allowed the free time to develop my musical talent. As I traveled through different cities, I learned more and more about music. Listening to famous composers helped me learn and create my own style of music. Later on, a prince named Leopold hired me as his director of music. Because he was also a musician, he paid me well for composing and performing. But 3 years later, the prince married a woman who didn't care for music at all, and sadly the prince lost interest pretty soon after. 5 years later, while in the court of Weimar, I was offered a position in the court of Cöthen. The Duke of Weimar, however, wanted me to stay, so he raised my pay. In 1717, looking for a change, I accepted the position in the court of Cöthen, which made the Duke furious. He put me in prison for a whole month. After my time in prison, I traveled to Cöthen, where I continued work as a musician. In 1723, I became cantor for the St. Thomas Church in Leipzig. As cantor, I oversaw and composed music for Leipzig's 4 churches. I also led many performances and cantatas. I composed over 300 cantatas, one of which was about coffee. Lamentably, around 100 have been lost. About 75% of my compositions were for church services. After 2 years, I lost interest in being cantor, and since I had a superior organ, I decided to work at the Pauliner Church. During this time, I did some of my best composing for the organ. Some of my organ pieces were known to cause church buildings to shake. I had composed over 1,100 pieces of music in my lifetime. In 1749, my eyesight stopped working, but in 1750, it unexpectedly returned again. Tragically, 1 month later, I died of a brain hemorrhage. Today, I may be one of the most famous composers of all time, but during my life, I was mostly known as a musician. Who am I?